Good morning, Principles of Management. How are you? This is Mr. Argueta coming to you with my introduction video. I wanted to get this video out to you. Obviously, I try to get it out as early as possible. So every week I'll be posting a video that will sort of recap what we looked at the previous week. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on this week, and I'll sort of preview what's happening for the following week. This video, of course, is an introduction since our first week is an introduction in our discussions. You'll have to look for my video as part of the discussion. I'm pretty sure I've outlined this in our previous video, but the discussion portion for me is very important. So I think it's important for me to be a part of that discussion instead of just handing that over to your responsibility. I try to hold myself accountable as well to create an not introduction, but discussion post, having that conversation with you regarding, what's going on in the week. So anyhow, that being said, you'll be seeing these videos every week. I usually do it while I have my cup of coffee. This is one of my favorite cups that I have, which is referencing let me see if I can get into the shot here, a TV show that I like to watch called The Office. So if there's any Office fans, welcome to class. I enjoy that show, Parks and Rec, some of the favorite shows that I have. I enjoy watching shows, of course, that are related to business. A few of the lawyer-based shows are also some of my favorite, but Brooklyn Nine-Nine, that type of comedy is always something that intrigues me. But let me introduce myself. My name is Mr. Argueta. I will be the instructor for this class. I normally teach principles of management at least once, sometimes 4 times in a semester. In this case, for fall of 24, I'll be teaching it for 2 sections. The classes are pretty large. There are about 50 students per class, so we have a pretty good group. So I'm interested in seeing what the discussions are going to be like. But let me tell you a little bit about myself, who I am, what's going on in my life. I like to connect with you guys every week and let you know what's going on in my life, as well as you telling me what's going on in yours. I know we don't get to see each other face to face, so this is the closest I have to connect with the students, which is a video on a weekly basis. So today is Tuesday. It is about 7:45 in the morning. I got to the office. I'm in my office. My office is located in Dalton, the Dalton campus, but I do occasionally visit the other campuses, especially if a student wants to meet with me in person, then I can make that arrangement. I also do a lot of corporate training, so that also consumes a little bit of my time. So please bear with me in regards to that. That said, I just returned to work yesterday, which was the 16th, first day of our semester. I was in Europe with my son, backpacking through Europe. We did a big circle sort of Europe, the European countries. We started off in Paris. We got to see an Olympic event. We ended up going to Brussels, enjoyed that for a few days in Belgium. We went to Barcelona in Spain, and we visited Valencia. We had a great time there. Then we went over to Milan, Italy. From Milan, we went to Hamburg, and then we went to Bremen. We ended up in a small town in Germany called Vechta, which is basically a town of a friend of mine who got married. We went to grad school together and ended up in Amsterdam for a few days, met up an Italian friend of mine and his wife, and then ended up going back to Paris to fly back to America. So as you can imagine, it was literally 16 days of backpacking through Europe, buses, trains, cabs, bikes. We rode everything, so it was a great adventure. Let me tell you about my son. He is going to school at Berry College in Rome. He's going to move on to his master's in a couple semesters, moving into a PA program in the medical field. So he'll be going to PA school, which is a physician's associate. It's basically the level right under a doctor. He'll be working with doctors. He's who normally you would see if you go to like a clinic. MDs don't really do that as much anymore. They send out what's called an MP, a nurse practitioner, or a PA, which is a physician's associate. So he's on that pathway. My daughter, I have two kids. My daughter graduated last year in December from UGA. She has a, yeah, go dogs. I hear people saying go dogs, so go dogs. She has a degree in early childhood education and teaches kindergarten for a school out of Athens. And my wife is a fourth grade teacher and works in Dalton at a school called City Park. So if you're counting here, three of us out of the four are in the educational world, and my son will be in the medical field. Now, I didn't start that way. I come from business. I'm an entrepreneur. I came from owning a few companies and managing a few companies. Came from the business world. I've dealt with management my entire life. My degrees are in business. I have a bachelor's of business administration and a master's. I have an MBA, a master's of business administration. My focus is in leadership and management. So most of my career I've dealt in what would be the business world and training and management and all that good stuff. So I am originally born and raised in Chicago. My wife as well. That's where I met her. My kids are born in Chicago. And then about 2010, we decided to pack our bags and basically move into Georgia. So that's what ends up bringing us here. We've been here since then, so 14 years, going on 14 years. My kids were obviously little when they got here and now have been raised essentially in Georgia. What else can we tell you? We love to travel in spring break, so March of this year. My wife and my daughter and I, who are all in the educational world, had spring break at the same week, so we went to Greece, which was a beautiful experience in country. We visited Athens, which is a gorgeous city, has a lot of history. Then we went to Crete, and then a small little island called Santorini, which is beautiful, but there's not much to do there. It's just a beautiful scenery. But the food was delicious. I'm a big fan of experiencing culture through people and food, getting to know people from different cultures. I enjoy food. As you can probably tell, I am of a Latino background. My parents were originally from Guatemala, came to America and landed in Chicago basically and stood there all the rest of their lives. They never moved out of Chicago. All my family still lives in Chicago. All my two sisters are in Chicago. My nephews, my grandparents were in Chicago. They have now passed, but all my uncles and aunts are in Chicago. So we have one uncle who remained in Guatemala with a cousin. That's it. Other than that, everybody else has now migrated to Chicago. My sister is a sergeant in the Chicago Police Department, and we're very proud of her and what her accomplishments are. And my nephews are in the medical world, and my other nephew is a federal police officer. So thanks to my parents and their sacrifice, we have been able to move forward in our education and our career paths, and we can see the results of their sacrifice. Other than that, I think what else can I tell you about us? We love to explore things. We love to see new things. We have no friends or family that when we moved here, of course, we've met people throughout the years, but we came here, we didn't know anybody. We decided to kind of move into a different direction and take the time to raise our children and focus on our family, which was a great decision. I'm very thankful for the opportunity. I spent about 5 years sort of not doing any type of outside work. I focused on my family, raising my children, and serving the community, serving in different capacities in the community on a volunteer basis. And then after that, I became an instructor. An opportunity came up with the college and have now been doing that for about 10 years. So yeah, about 4 years of not doing much. And then I started doing sort of what they call adjunct, which is like a visiting instructor. I taught a few classes for them, but not full time. And then finally, I came on board as a full-time professor. So I'm the program director for business management. So you'll at some capacity either take my class or deal with me at some level. If this is your first semester, We haven't yet been affiliated because you go through this process of going through like a success coach process. But second semester students probably have either had me or one of the other full-time professors as your advisor. I typically advise people in the Dalton and Gordon County area. I live in Gordon County. I live in Calhoun, Georgia. My kids went to Sonoraville, and very, very happy with the area. Very thankful for the area. What else can I say? I mean, other than that, we really enjoy kind of getting to know people through, like I said, their culture and their foods, and just enjoying the fellowship with individuals and understanding their background. Other than that, guys, I think the class should go pretty smoothly. You'll be hearing a lot about coffee, of course. I enjoy drinking good cups of coffee. I enjoy good food. I'll talk about the weather, my adventures of the week, all that good stuff, and I hope to see the same thing. So when you see this video, one of the requirements is to reply to my videos, either about what we're talking about or whatever you want to tell me. Share with me your life as I share with you mine. So we have 8 weeks together. I hope to get to know you. I hope to be able to be a part of your journey here in a more connected way instead of just seeing a bunch of information online and maybe emailing me once or twice. You get to see a face, you get to know who I am. If you see me in the streets, stop me and say, hey, I'm in your class, and it'd be great to meet you in person. Other than that, I think that should cover it. I think I've told you about myself, my family, my background. I don't know what else to share with you. Other than have a wonderful week. I hope you have a great semester. I hope you enjoy the class. I try to do the best I can to make it interesting. The discussion should be relevant. It should be something that you are aware of. Nothing too surprising, nothing too difficult. I do want to make sure you understand that any artificial intelligence creation will be marked as a 0. It'll be detected and be 0. I don't have a problem with you typing out your thoughts and your personal story and have it corrected by some type of like chat GBT. Make sure that the flow of the sentence is good, the grammatics are right. I don't have an issue with that. I do have an issue with you just prompting a chat GBT to answer your questions. The system will quickly recognize it and you'll receive a 0. So make sure that if you're, and this is the easiest way to get caught, ChatGPT hallucinates. It makes up stuff. It's part of its default issues. And that's how we recognize something's wrong. But give me a personal story every time we talk about it, related to something in your life. You know, when we're going to talk about ethics and we talk about things, tell me something about why you think that's your perspective. So anyhow, I don't want to get into a soapbox here and kind of, lecture you. I just wanted to get to know you and get you to get to know me. I hope to read your post and make sure that you take time on that, because that's my big theme, is the discussions. I read every single one of them. I'm very critical about them. Don't just give me a one sentence reply, because I will not grade it fairly. Give me some content. Make sure you're putting effort into it. Okay. Other than that, guys, it's a pleasure. I hope you enjoy. Take care. We'll see you next week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.